Edmonton Elks star running back Justin Rankin joins us, and you have a clear goal about making history
Yeah,
in 2026. What is it?
yeah, we got to get that thousand. Again, we was close, super close. I think 300 yards off. So that would be awesome to do something nobody's ever done before.
That would be 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving
Yeah,
yards. And you'd rather do that than rush for 2,000 yards, correct?
yeah, for sure. Again, when you do something that nobody's ever done before, it causes everybody behind you to want to accomplish that same feat, and that's an awesome feeling that you make history and push people to shoot, be great.
Why do you think that that is possible, making history in Jordan Maximic's offense?
Man, his offense is versatile. Like right, you just look throughout the past. Guys are getting 180 plus touches on the ground, and then he likes to air it out. Like he gonna pass that ball. He loves to pass that ball. So it's definitely possible. And we got C7. You know what I mean? You got the man, the myth, the legend, the old man in the league, Cody Fajardo, like the check down king, the check down king. Worst case scenario, Cody gonna look at that check down. So, you know, I think I can take advantage of that a little bit. Turn some of those check downs into 20, 30 yard runs.
Does your receiving ability come naturally, or is that something you developed once you got to the CFL?
No, my sophomore year in college, I actually played a lot of receiver. We just had guys go down, so I was split out a lot, playing a lot of receiver. And then I trained like a receiver. I trained like a receiver like every offseason. Indoor arena football, there's a lot of you're a lot of in the waggle. We call it high motion, but you in that waggle a lot, running routes, catching the ball. Like it's a fast paced game. So when they brought me in as a receiver, it was a no brainer. I was like, yeah, Coach Howell hit me up, we gonna change you to receiver, and I was like, all right, that don't bother me. And in our position, I tell Cody all the time, I would love to play R. Ideally, I would love to do what Nick Dembski does. Ideally, I would love to play that position. That's a phenomenal position, but it'll never happen. Coach Masimic, if you're listening, but it'll never happen. But I like that R position. I get to run routes, maybe get some jet sweeps. I also can still motion into the backfield and play running back. And you got Javon Lee in the game.
Okay.
But I love that R position. I think it's a cool position.
Are you a receiver playing running back, or a running back who likes to play receiver
Yeah,
from time to time?
I'm a running back that likes to play receiver. I love receiver though. The art of playing receiver is it's fun to learn how to get open. Because it's a real art to it. It's crazy. Like running back, they always say it's the easiest position on the field, which I do agree to an extent. But running back is it's a lot of instincts. Receiver is instincts, but you gotta be able to read that coverage out there, know when to break down, when to speed cut, how to run the route, how to get in and out, efficiently as you can. It's an art to it, and it's enjoyable to be able to, when you do it good, it feels real good.
You said you train like a receiver in the off season.
Yeah.
Are you catching a certain amount of balls per day on the jugs machine, or how do you go about it?
I don't got no jugs machine. I wish I did, but I run routes a lot. I run routes probably 2-3 times a week. Dustin Crum lives near me. I always throw with him about once a week, and then I'm always just I'm literally doing receiver drills, again running routes all the time, just because to me I always tell even the younger kids that I train, like running back is just everything you do at receiver just with the ball in your hands. You got somebody doing a post stem, you can do that with the ball in your hands, just dead leg them and make a miss. So if you train it like a receiver, just add the ball in your hands when you're doing a run, and it's running back drills. For the most part, it's really all the same. It's all the same moves, all the same body movements. So I always tell the young guys the more you can do, the more you'll be on the field. And I agree with that. The more I can do, the more I can be in the field.
You sort of touched on it earlier when you mentioned that some people say running back is the easiest position to
Yeah.
play on the field. Do running backs deserve more respect and also higher pay?
Yeah, I think so. There's not a play where we're not getting hit. We're probably getting hit almost 80 to 90% of the game, almost like a tight end. Tight ends and running backs are you're blocking, you're pass pro, run blocking sometimes, you're running routes, and then running the ball on top of that. So it's you're that's why they got the shortest lifespan. right? Like you're getting hit all the time, you're hitting all the time. Like they got the shortest lifespan for a reason, right? So like to me, it's like if you got a position that has the shortest lifespan because of like, basically injuries because they have the biggest workload, like why would you not want to pay them a little bit more? They're putting the most work in for you, and most of the time for the shortest amount of time, which like sucks for them, like sucks for us. But yeah, I mean, I guess you just take care of everybody and I'm gonna keep playing regardless of whether they respect us or not. So
Our guy JC Abbott at 3downnation.com is a big running backs can be found anywhere kind of guy. But that's not necessarily the case because as we've seen in the CFL, the NFL, you mentioned even the indoor league, you can't just stick anybody in there, especially as a professional in the CFL learning the nuances of the 3-down game.
I think you can find any position anywhere. Like to me, like when people say that, when coaches say that, GMs say that, and all that stuff, it's like I hear you, but you're not finding another me, right? And I made it. I think as a player, like that's the goal, is to make it so like they can't find another you. Like there's nobody else that can do what I do, and I stand on that. Like yeah, you can go find another running back, and he may be good. I'm not saying you won't find another good running back, but you won't find another running back that can do what I do. Like that's just how I make sure that like I make that a thing, right? Like I brought that to fruition on myself. That was something I was always told. My dad always told me like be irreplaceable. And I think that's any position. I can go find a receiver, go find an offensive lineman, I can go find a quarterback, but I may not find one. I may not find one that can do what C7 do. You know what I mean? But I can go find one, right? Like there's football players all over this country, America. Like you can go shoot in Japan. Like you go find football players, man. Like, but you will not find one that can do what I do. I stand on that.
You mentioned C7 a couple times endearingly. How have you guys become so close so quickly?
Yeah, man, that's my guy. He's just a down to earth dude. He's a good human being. I mean, like even coming into the situation that he came into, like that's a guy that went from being a starting quarterback to a backup, and in the way that he like embraced that role, like he really showed me like, and I thought I knew how to be a pro, like, and I believed that like I was doing all the like professional things. Like he really showed me like what it means to be like a real pro and like a real leader, whether like, he was starting or not. Cause like to come in and embrace that role and not only like embrace it, but like he was bought into it, like, really, really just like being a leader from the background to everybody, not just to Trey, but like to everybody, and like that's tough to do. That's tough to do coming from being like the guy in the team, to basically being like in the background, and just kind of trusting God and believing in God, having faith and just being who he is. He stayed true to himself, man, and like he stayed true to himself, doing all the right things. Was a backup, still waking up at 5:30, 6 a.m. I would beat him to the facility most days, so don't let him tell you that. Yeah, Cody, and yeah, man, like he's the phenomenal dude, and I think that really like that resonated with me, because that's something that I want to be. I really look up to him, and that's something that like I want to be. I take pride in. So it's like I want to be around more people like him, because he'll hold me accountable to like what I want and the things that I'm saying that I want, and I know he will. So like I try to surround myself with people that like aren't afraid to be like, hey, Rank, you're doing the wrong stuff. You need to do this, like and I appreciate him for that.
You have a lot of confidence in Cody Fajardo, and it seems like there's a lot of confidence coming from the Edmonton Elks as a whole. Tyrell Ford told me he believes easily the defense could be the number one in the league in 2026. And I think part of the reason that Cody Fajardo decided to play another season and re-sign is because he legitimately thinks that the Elks can compete for a Grey Cup. Why do you think that could be possible?
Yeah, before I answer that question, they can be number one in the league, but during camp, the defense got to see this. Yeah, they gotta feel this. I told them, I just want them to know that all month of May, it's on and popping. But no, I definitely think that. I think we just got the right guys in the room. I think we got the right guys in the room. We're bringing a lot of the same guys back, right? We was just telling them, like, man, like last year was our first year together with the coaching staff, like the GM, the players, like had quarterback switch in the middle of the season. Like that's hard to do. There's a lot of adversity, and that's no excuse. Like but that's the reality, right? Like it's like that's tough. That's tough to do in a professional setting. So I think now, like, we laid our foundation down. You know, we know who we want to be, what kind of team we want to be, and we know who's bringing what to the table. And now we can kind of just like hold those guys a little more accountable to like what they bring to the table. Like, this is what you're really good at. I'm gonna hold you accountable to what you're really good at, and then elevate that. You know, so that's the biggest thing. I think we got the right guys, man.
Late in the season, there was this talk around the league that Edmonton could have been a dangerous team if you made the playoffs. How do you carry that momentum forward into 2026 and realize that potential of being a Grey Cup contender?
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I really don't. I think late in that season, like you said, I don't think nobody wanted to play us. You know, like, I think like they knew, like, when they was playing us, like, you was coming with 150%. Like, there was no stat game. There was no, like, I can kind of take some plays off. Like, no, we going. Like, whether we was losing or not, like look, man, y'all gonna feel this tomorrow. Like, you know, I mean, it was crazy. At one point, we was keeping track of it. Like, after every game, like, there was like guys out the next week. Like, from the other team, like, almost every game for like 5-6 games straight, it was like starters like taking the next week off. Like, you know, whether they was hurt or just physically exhausted. Like, you know, we was tapping guys out for real, you know, and I think we was just a physical team, you know, and yeah, that's kind of like, you know, our motto. We stood on that. We want to continue to stand on that. So I think the biggest thing is just taking how we played in that last half, you know, and just from day one at camp, you know, like, against each other, like, let's go. Like, obviously keep each other healthy, but like, let's bring that energy in the camp so that when the season starts, like, we not, you know, in no deficit. Like, we come in, you know, instead of 0-7, let's 7-0, right? Like, let's not put ourselves in a hole. So we got to be perfect in the late season.
Edmonton in recent years has put themselves in a hole early. How can you avoid that?
Yeah, just starting fast, man. Like, you know, like I said, just understanding who we are and like doing that from day one. Not faltering in it, not like having no hesitation, no second guess of like what kind of team we want to be, what the standard is, like what the expectations are. Like, from day one, everybody on the same page, and like the guys that aren't, get them on the same page. And if they don't want to get on the same page, they gotta go. You know, and I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is just making sure that we can stand on who we want to be.
I thought you might show up in green and gold, but you have red and white on.
Yeah.
What's the
A
connection?
little crazy, right? Calgary colors, man. That's wild. But no, this is my friend Antonio Wimbush. His brand is Walk by Faith, and you know, I love it. I think a big part of my journey was like just kind of like letting go, man, letting God like just kind of take care of my life, and whatever came of it, you know, like live it and enjoy it, live in the moment, and see the lessons that it's teaching me, and I think that's huge. You know, the past couple of years, like, you know, I got a lot bigger into the church, and you know, my faith, and kind of really standing on my faith. So, like, you know, I definitely wanted to just kind of like represent, you know, what this meant to me, and what it meant to my journey, my career, my life.
Trying to go for 1,000 and 1,000 rushing and receiving. Lots of CFL fans would love to see it. It would be a first in history.
Yeah, you got to watch this, dog. That'll be a movie.
Indeed. Thanks for the time, Justin.
Heck yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.